Hi folks, Steve here with Victory for Veterans. I have the pleasure and honor to be with Jake Jenkins, a Navy veteran of 4 years, and he's got a long heritage of family members in the veteran world as well. We're here to talk about the new IT apprentice program that you've heard about, and Jake is here to tell us more about some of the stories of the folks who are applying and joining the program, why they're joining, all that good kind of stuff, and then we'll briefly talk about the pre-apprentice part of the program, which is what Victory for Veterans is funding. That's the $500 that gets funded, the pre-apprentice program. So Jake, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And give us a brief outline of what kind of who's coming in and their background, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so first off, I just want to say thank you for everybody that's already donated. And if you're planning on donating, thank you. There's a multitude of different kinds of people that are coming into the program. You know, we get a wide range from guys that are about to come out or, you know, about to enter the transition. We get some guys that have been out for a few years, and then also some that have been out for, 10 plus years. You know, they've been out in the market for a while. They've tried their hand at different industries, and, they're wanting to make another change. So we get kind of a wide range, and we have different ways that we help, those guys, because there's different situations, right? So,
sure.
But yeah, so we got different guys like that. The reason why we're talking with you, Steve, is there's some individuals in the program that are looking to get into the program that are kind of having a hard time with right now. We're working hard to help them with the future and set them up with a career that's going to help them for the rest of their life. But right now, at this moment, there's some guys that are just struggling right now.
Financially,
Yep.
Personally.
A little bit of both.
Above?
I mean, yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, the finance is always going to affect your personal. That's a big thing that we found is the finances always hurt every portion of it. But I mean, for an example, we had a guy that he's really interested in the program. We got to learning a little bit more about their situation, and they came out and they were like, I had myself fully set up to come out of the transition. I had a job lined up. I had money saved. I had all this stuff, and then I was working, and then I got in a car accident. And I got got hurt pretty bad. And I was in the hospital, and I didn't have medical insurance. So I had to foot the bill out of my pocket and stuff like that, because I was out of the military and I wasn't there at my job long enough to have the medical insurance. So he was kind of in that limbo. So he had to foot the bill out of his pocket, and he lost his job because he couldn't work, and so now he's kind of in a situation where he's living with his parents and wanting to do something good. So we've got him in the program. He's doing it. And once he got in the program, he saw the benefit of what we're doing, what we're helping him with his resume and his, all the other portions of getting him into a position,
right.
In a company somewhere. He actually went out and got a part-time job at a construction site. Just to I need to make a little bit of money so I can pay something. Because that's another thing, Steve, is they don't like handouts. That's a perfect example of the fact that we can't even give this thing away for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They won't accept it. So that's a cool thing of what we're doing with you is how we've got this set up.
Yeah. So for those of you that didn't catch that, Victory for Veterans is helping with that initial $500, which is the pre-apprenticeship portion of the program.
Right.
But the veterans are going to pay that back plus about 25%. So it's a help out right now. It's not a handout. And like you said,
right.
Many are like, no, I don't want it, to give it to somebody else. But knowing that they can pay it back is helpful.
Yeah, it gives them the ability to get started right now, so they don't have to wait or try to go out there and get that money to do that. It gives them a way to start right now, because the biggest thing that you lose in this whole process is time, and that's the one thing that you can't get back. You can go, who knows, cut grass or pressure wash houses and stuff like that to make a little bit of cash, but you can never make that time back. And for them to wait a couple months to get started that's a couple months that they could have been, looking for a job and had
Sure.
the resume ready and stuff like that. So it's getting them started now. That's the big thing, is getting them started right away. But I mean, that's the big thing, is they're able to pay it back, so they're not taking a handout of charity. And then they also have an ability to pay it forward to another guy that's in their same situation, or
Yep.
maybe a worse situation,
Yep.
because that's one of the more mild stories that we have. I mean, I talk to all these veterans all the time, and I hear their stories, and it's tough to hear those stories and to not be able to help in every way, and it's cool that we're teaming up to be able to take care of most of those guys.
Yeah, awesome. Great. And tell us about that pre-apprenticeship portion. They're looking for jobs. How do you help them? Well, maybe you should go back to what's it like going into the service and then they come out. Maybe that transition help us understand that.
Yeah, so when we first got it started with the program, we had everything set up to, once they get into the job, this is the training they're going to get. This is how we're going to do that. But then when we started looking at it, we were like, okay, the hardest part about this whole program is going to be getting them hired, getting them into a job. And the big reason why that is because there's a real big disconnect from, veterans and the employers, especially if the employer is a civilian and never served. There's a huge disconnect between them. Two different mindsets, two different lifestyles, two different that sort of thing. So because these kids are coming out, they're 18, some of them 17 with a signed page from the parents saying that they can. They go in and they go to boot camp first, and they go through this whole transition into the military of, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to act, this is how you need to talk, this is how you need to write, everything, all the details. I mean, they literally teach you how to write different in the military. Yeah, they actually teach you how to, yeah. So, it's all kinds of stuff like that. They teach you how to walk and run and different things like that to be a part of the military. And they're constantly in your face, which is probably the worst part to anybody going through boot camp. But it's probably the one thing everybody needs coming out of the military. Is
someone in your face?
A drill sergeant, somebody in your face telling you to do this now, do this way, and to be able to do that so that you can transition into that lifestyle. The civilian military lifestyles are so different.
So it's a different culture in your mind.
Yeah, it is. I mean, those guys get in there, they've lived it for 5, 10 years, 15 years, however long. They've lived off of having a paycheck every 2 weeks. They never have to worry about it. The 1st and the 15th.
And sometimes
everyone.
medical and a grocery store around the corner, and
they have the medical. They have the grocery store on base that's tax free. They have the dental, the free dental anytime they need to go. They have all these different perks that they have that comes in with it. When you come out into the civilian side, I mean, you have to go and get medical. You have to go get dental. You have to pay extra for that.
Yep.
You have to try to find a job. You don't have the housing allowance anymore. The military pays for your rent and your utilities and stuff. They give you money for that. They give you grocery money in the military. You don't have that when you come out. So it's completely different of how you think about your life and how to take care of your life too. And then, just going in and talking. Most people coming out of the military have never been on an interview. The last interview they had was probably at McDonald's or Taco Bell when they were in high school.
a little bit different than an IT job.
And then you're going to go into a corporation to go and interview for a $60,000-$70,000 position. That's a different scale.
Yeah.
That's a different thing that we have to prepare these guys for. There's skills there that they need. So in that pre-apprenticeship, we help them with the resume. We help them write their resume, so it's not a generic military resume coming out. We help them with interview skills. We do interview workshops with them. A lot of the guys that are going through and getting calls for interviews now, they actually call us, the day before, 2 hours or 3 hours before the interview. And we'll sit down and talk to them through their resume and their everything like that, and then we'll coach them on what to do. If they ask this question, this is how you answer, this is how you do certain things, this is how you sit up, this is the color tie you need to wear, that sort of thing. We'll help them with all of that to make sure that they're fully prepared. We help the guys build a LinkedIn. We've got that set up to where we're helping them build their LinkedIn to present themselves better. How to apply to jobs and build a resume or a profile on job boards. All these different things that people don't really think about, but are a big part of how to get a job. You know, that's a big part of it.
In today's world, yeah, it's very different.
So we help them with all that stuff because there's a lot of job boards out there. There's countless job boards out there.
I mean,
so
it's not
which ones
just
to go
ZipRecruiter, Glassdoor.
You know, I actually called a lot of them a couple weeks ago. I mean, I probably talked to 25 different veteran job boards.
Oh my!
And there's
wow.
That's not even scratching the surface. There's
Wow.
a lot of them out there. So we've got, you know, a resource on our webpage of all the different job boards out there. You know, all the different LinkedIn groups that you can join that are veteran oriented. You know, these are where we put all that together so that you don't have to go and Google search it. You can just kind of click on the links and find what works for you. So we'll coach guys through that too, and then we help them with their job offers and negotiating that kind of stuff, making sure that they're not getting the raw end of the deal. Making sure everybody's happy too. So we do a lot of work with the employers. We'll talk with them. We do things to reward them for hiring a vet too. You know, and we can talk about that, you know, in another one.
I think we're going to talk about that another time. That's great. So it sounds like you're helping them readjust their mind to a business culture, civilian life kind of thing, resumes, posting for jobs, then the interview, the negotiation. So that sounds pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, it is. It's about 100 hours of time that we put into these guys before they even get a job.
That's right.
You know, and it's 100 hours of doing that. So, and you know, we have that price of $500 for that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for us, it's, you know, $5
$5
an hour. You know,
right.
I mean, it's a couple
less
bucks
than
under minimum wage.
That's less than McDonald's.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys understand this is the pre-apprentice portion, which is getting them all ready to get into the job. It's sort of, for me, it's like backwards. Most training companies, they're just interested in giving you the information. They train you, get it into your mind. It's your responsibility to then go find a job. But they sort of flip the tables. Mm-hmm. They find the job first. So there's a lot of work to transition out of the military, get ready for that job, get the job, and then
start getting paid.
Then you start the real registered apprenticeship program, which, by the way, is registered with the Department of Labor and the VA. So they're connected in some very good ways. And then the real work starts of training and working.
Yeah, and that's another thing, too, with the training. Once they get into the job, so they're going to be getting that salary, we're also going to negotiate in there to get the employer to pay for their training. So if they do choose to use the GI Bill, you know, they'll get the BAH side of it and the book stipend too. But that money is not needed for training. It's just extra to add on to their salary.
Gotcha.
So it's money they can do. Or if they choose not to use the GI Bill, they don't need it. They can save it for later as well. They can pass it on to their wife or their kids or
I heard
whoever.
that you can pass it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they can do that. So we wanted to make it to where we're not a company going after that suitcase full of money, the GI Bill. You know, we don't want to be one of those companies. So we've really worked hard to set up a program that you can or.
So their GI Bill, they get paid to themselves. It doesn't go to you, is what you're saying. Oh, that's huge. That's a big difference.
So you're not going to use your GI Bill to pay us. You're going to use the GI Bill to get BAH to help out with your salary.
Well, now you're talking Greek because BAH is meaningless to civilian.
Basic housing allowance. Yes.
BHA.
Yes, BHA.
Oh, okay.
There's different ways to say it. MHA, BHA,
Oh, cool.
BAH. Yeah, there's all kinds of different ones. But
all right, well, it's been a good overview of the beginning. I really appreciate it. And you can go to victoryforveterans.org. You can find out about the IT apprenticeship program that way, or you can go to
usveteranjobs.com or our Facebook page, US Veteran Jobs, or our Twitter, US Veteran Jobs. So yeah, you can go there. The website lays it all out. We have orientations multiple times throughout the week, so if you're interested in that, just contact us.
Thank you, Jake. You know, Victory for Veterans is providing the funding for those that require it. Folks, thank you very much. This is November 15th right now, and we have a special day coming up November 28th. It's called Giving Tuesday, and your contributions through the Facebook page, which is VF Vets, click on the donate button. On that day, the 28th of November, Giving Tuesday, your donations will be doubled by Facebook and the Gates Foundation. So we'd love it if you could help us out, help veterans out, and thanks again.
Yep, thank you.